Morning, Steve Free in Chicago with the morning grain comments. Well, overnight we've got soybean and corn prices a little bit lower, wheat prices a little bit higher. Had a pretty big rally on Friday after the word China came in and bought 5 to 7 cargoes of U.S. corn out of the Pacific Northwest. No real details on when the shipping period is, but that gave some, I guess, support that they would come in and buy U.S. ag goods based on the Phase 1 deal. I think the market's going to need more confirmation of China buying to move much higher. We don't really see any weather issues in 2020, and I think at the annual ADM broker meeting, one of the speakers, Ag Resources, Dan Bossi, was talking about the rallies limited to when China buys, and that if 2020 world crop production and U.S. crop production exceeds demand, that eventually prices will go lower. I think that Hightower was talking about, as far as farmers are concerned, maybe they can sell some futures here. And if the futures break down and go lower into the normal February lows, buy that back and use that money to buy cheap calls going into the summer weather pattern. And if we do rally in May because of some weather issues or China buying, sell the cash then, and you've got the calls in your back pocket to use in case there is a weather problem. It's not sure that we'll have perfect weather globally in 2020, but the odds are that we will have mostly good weather, which means kind of lower prices. On Friday, the managed funds were buys of 5,000 wheat. They bought back all the corn they sold on Thursday, 38,000 contracts, bought 5,000 beans. So right now, we're thinking that they're long 35 wheat, short about 90 corn, and about even both in the beans, short 30 wheat, and long still about 100,000 contracts of soybean oil. There was some talk, at least from Ag Resources at the meeting, that there was a 50-50 chance that China might walk away from Phase 1 deal after the election, and really no chance of a Phase 2 deal. He also, they mentioned very critical times as far as the election goes. We have various primaries starting in February all through the states. A big day is June 30th when the Supreme Court decides on whether the Electoral College is going to remain in existence or it's going to be a popular vote. Then you have the Democratic Convention July 13th and 16th, the GOP Convention August 24th and 27th, and various presidential debates in September and October. Most of the speakers said the critical thing in 2020 is what does the U.S. dollar do? Most of the speakers thought the dollar might go lower, or Alan Bush still thinks the dollar is going to go higher. So we might get a commodity rally if the dollar goes lower, but right now it still looks like most of the money flow is going to be into the equity market and not the commodity market. So a lot of volatility in the early 2020. Depending upon China, depending upon weather, depending upon money flow, and then late in 2020, it looks like grain prices should trade lower as long as we have normal weather. As always, these are my thoughts, not those of ADM or ADM Investor Services. Have a safe and profitable trading day.